my dad got laid off. I meant to turn this on. I'm sorry. This little crazy thing. This is a gadget. Y'all got gadgets? This is a great gadget if you ever want a gadget. It is the ultimate gadget. You familiar with this gadget?
No, what does it do?
It follows you.
I had one at one point in time, but it didn't work too well.
Oh, that's cool.
So it follows you wherever you go. It lines up with the individual and begins to follow. So I'm gonna put it in the center so I can see that screen. So, but with that being said, I learned in San Diego while on this panel, they had asked, where did you begin your entrepreneurial journey and how did you start it? And I was like, I couldn't think about it. Then it dawned on me, like I said, my dad got laid off from his employer. And when he got laid off from his employer, he decided in our local community, East St. Louis, Illinois, he decided to go to the wholesale store and he was buying like potato chips, pickles, now and laters, juices, and all that. And he would bring that stuff home. And as he would bring it home, and bring it in their master bedroom, raise the window, and began selling the candies and stuff out the window to us kids in the neighborhood. And in hindsight, now I'm telling this story in 2019. That was when I was knee high to a jackrabbit. So it took me that many years to be able to understand that, wow, way back then, my dad was doing this thing called entrepreneurship that we probably never even thought of. I know I never thought of a word called entrepreneurship back then, but my dad started it way back when, and now fast forward to this dispensation in time, I'm utilizing that word that I didn't realize he was planting the seed at that time. And how did he get started? Because of this thing called laid off. And so entrepreneurial journeys all start from various reasons and because of various things that happen in their lives and in our lives, you begin doing this thing called entrepreneurship. And to that, we've been teaching this course and many other courses for many years around the country to different organizations and things like that. So I want to say welcome to you guys. Thank you for showing up this morning. I do have a surprise for you all as well. So I do want to say welcome and thank you guys. So here's our course objective. The course objective is to prepare youth mentally and physically for entrepreneurship. Now, when I talk about mentally, that's the biggest piece that I really want to drive home because it's a total different beast. It's a total different beast. It's different when you have a steady income that you're depending on and not depending on, but that you know is going to come. You know you got that coming. It's this side of the fence that kind of gets a little bit tricky, for lack of better terminology, because you are the employee, you are the employer, so you got to prepare yourself mentally. How do I prepare myself mentally for this particular thing called entrepreneurship? Here's our agenda. We're going to go over week 1, introduction to business planning, developing a comprehensive business plan, effective communication and change management, overcoming challenges and adapting, navigating success, and the final project and wrap up. Now, how many of you guys familiar with the business plan? Familiar with the business plan?
Somewhat.
I say somewhat.
Okay. That's good. We're going to go into that. Business plans are very unique and they are, in so many words. Young man, do you play basketball?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. You know this guy by the name of Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
I bet you $100 that you could beat Michael Jordan playing basketball.
No.
I bet you could. I bet you could beat Michael Jordan playing basketball if you gave Michael Jordan 20 points and you had no points. You could beat Michael Jordan. You believe me? Want to take that bet?
No.
Want to take that bet? You want to take that bet? Moms, you don't want to bet on your son?
Oh, that he could beat Michael Jordan
They could beat Michael Jordan
in basketball?
in basketball. If he gave Michael Jordan 20 points, he spotted Michael Jordan 20 points, and he himself didn't have anything, and he could beat Michael Jordan. Provided Michael Jordan is blindfolded.
There we go. We got more detail.
Oh.
Okay.
Provided that Michael Jordan is blindfolded, you can
There
beat
we go.
him. You can spot him to 20 and you go on to 21, you can beat him, provided if he's blindfolded. Often enough, businesses get started blindfolded. They don't know how they're going to get there. They don't know the way forward. They don't understand that this thing called business plan, a business plan is your GPS. So if you didn't know how to get to this library this morning, you went in and you said, I'm trying to get to the Riverview Library. And the little box told you, go this way, go that way. It mapped out a plan for you. Often enough, when I don't know where I'm going, the first thing I do, I go into Google, I put in the address, my plan, and then I'll look at the time that it tells me I'm going to arrive to that place. And then I'm able to make a decision. That's what a business plan essentially does. It allows you to understand how you're going to get to where you're trying to get to. And in doing that, you're now able to make a sound decision. You're now able to move into another space, another opportunity as it relates to your business objective. So that's what a business plan is. And then different facets of developing a business plan and things like that, we'll talk about that. Today, we're going to talk about understanding the basics of business planning. We're going to talk about identifying the feasibility of your business idea, roles of a mentor in business planning. So, feasibility. What's feasibility? Give me a definition of feasibility. Anybody?
The ability to I guess, I don't know, navigate, or the ability to do, right? Like,
Do.
I can't go break concrete up with a hammer, right? So that wouldn't be feasible with the tools that I have, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you then have to ask yourself this very powerful question. When you put your business idea to the feasibility study or the feasibility litmus test, you say, okay, I'm going to build a Dairy Queen right across the street. Now you got to ask yourself, okay, there's a Sonic right here. Now I'm gonna build a Dairy Queen right across the street from it. Before they put that building up, they're gonna do a feasibility study. Because in this feasibility study, they're going to be trying to determine if what they're going to be putting there, is it going to be sustainable? Is it going to make it? Is it going to last? They're going to do all these different benchmarks and all these different things to figure out, does this work? Is this where we want to be at? Is this going to make a difference in this market? If we build this Dairy Queen, are we going to make enough capital? Or is our cash flow going to take place? What our profit and loss statement is going to look like? Well, who's going to be in these different components of a business plan? Who's going to operate as when you talk about an executive summary, who's going to run it? Who's going to do all these operations? So feasibility goes all the way through. So I want you to think about it for a minute. Think about some of the companies and things that you've seen. You can even utilize the person who pulled out their sewing machines. Now imagine if that individual who pulled out their sewing machines to start making masks, imagine if that person had built their business plan out for the next 5 years on making masks. Where would they be at right now?
Maybe out of business or a loss. Yeah.
Out of business. like I said, profit loss, they lost, so they didn't get no more profit, so they profit and loss sheet is gonna show, hey, you had a good run. But now imagine when they put their business plan together, they was like, yeah, we're gonna make these things for like the next 5 years and we're gonna do this, but that's part of the plan. But in that plan, you gotta be strategic. And you gotta figure out these next best things on whether or not this is feasible. If it's feasible, is it going to be sustainable? Is anyone going to be able to, are you going to be able to continue to make a living and continue to do that next best thing with this particular business? So you gotta look, I would suggest, think about the businesses that you've seen out here in the marketplace. Think about how and what those businesses may or may not have done. Think about some businesses that you've seen going out of business now. What are some businesses you've seen? What are some businesses you've seen going out of business?
Out of business?
Yeah. Remember that one place where your mother used to take you to and you used to go in there when you was shopping and during Christmas holidays and you was like, ooh. Go ahead.
Well, there's Toys R Us, that's
Ding,
out
ding,
of
ding,
business,
ding, ding,
and
ding.
Blockbuster,
Ding,
that's
ding,
been out
ding,
of
ding,
business
ding.
for a while.
Exactly. So now granted, some of those and probably both of them, when they first got started way back when, and they did their feasibility study and they did their business plan and it laid out perfectly. What it wasn't ready for was the change. It wasn't ready for the change. It wasn't ready for the market shift. It wasn't ready for the market shift. It wasn't ready for the pivot. So they had to, you said Blockbuster. Now watch this. Blockbuster got displaced by the Redbox. Redbox came in and just put a hurting on them. You seen your Redboxes around?
Hardly.
Barely.
Imagine their business plan. What happened to who replaced the Redbox?
Netflix,
Digital
Hulu,
Streaming.
streaming.
All those. So again, feasible. And then look at the inventory that they took in. Look at how all these stores have to consider all the stuff they got to now disperse, get rid of because they're no longer doing what it is that they said they were going to be doing. Today's market is shifting and changing in such a way that it is it's throwing a flag on the field. So I said I had an announcement. So with this shift in the in economy, this shift in the worlds, the shifts in as entrepreneurs and as future business owners, when you get in this space, there are humongous chances that you're gonna have to pivot. You have to shift. There's gonna be some changes. You're gonna run into some things that make you say, what do I do now? There's a picture, I talked about this the other day with Homer Simpson. It's a little meme where it shows Homer Simpson is lying in bed as a, he's just as a, an employee working for someone. He's laying in bed and he's just resting all peaceful. But then up under that picture, it shows him as an entrepreneur. And it shows him thinking about an email he got to send out, a phone call he got to return. He's talking about how many, the inventory. So it gives a different mindset from those who don't have to worry about all these different variables and different things that take place as it relates to being an entrepreneur, because it can be difficult. I'm your witness. I'm the guy that will scream from the mountaintop and tell you sometimes you have to shift. Sometimes you got to do some things a little bit different than what you didn't have planned to do. And sometimes you have to throw a flag into play. Here's your flag into play. Here's your flag into play. We have to pivot. We have to pivot this particular course and training because of circumstances that was out of my control. And those circumstances that were out of my control are, as I spoke to those individuals who threw this flag, I said, so what am I now supposed to do with the constituents and the individuals who were seeking what was to be delivered? And there was for the most part, no response. So I said, okay, so as we are all, we're speaking in an entrepreneurial space, say, okay, so what's the next best thing to deliver? How do you pivot? Pivot is, hey, I gotta shift what I had planned, I gotta go in a different direction, I gotta change different things. And so in that, I said, what is the best value proposition to offer students? And right now, when you look at the market, when you look at the economy, when you look at all things happening right now in the United States of America and in the world today, if an individual is not participating in AI, he or she loses. I would almost tell you right now to pack your bags and move into a third world country where there is no access to information technology. So because of that, our company decided, let's take you down this road. And I can tell you, the value-based proposition, value-based is the value that you're going to get, is going to, you'll walk away and say, wow, how does that sound? Is that okay?
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Is that okay? Steve, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. Let's go for a ride. Let's talk about this for a minute. Here's an overview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about what is AI. What can AI do? The future of AI, and then we're going to take you through some tools. And these tools, when I tell you that the most value in what we had set up, the most value is if I give you a tool, is for you to go out and put it to play. Since we've been teaching this particular class, the average person who's walked out of this class went to their car, sat down in their cars and deployed the different tools that we've given them, and the next day have reported that their lives have changed. And we're going to give you those tools today, okay? Artificial intelligence. When you hear about artificial intelligence, what do you think about? What are some of the things you think about when you hear about this thing called artificial intelligence? Siri, okay.
Well, like perhaps scripts that adapt, that work on perhaps like robots or certain scripts that can do things on its own without you having to code that much. It adapts and does it for you.
Anybody else?
I usually think of, like Cortana, as Microsoft's, AI. That's like your little assistant that is helping you do whatever that project you're doing. Is usually some, like, for example, I've seen Chat GPT, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's capable of scanning the internet and finding information for you, compiling it, and then students can possibly write an essay off of it, and also Skynet.
AI is not this big robot that's walking around wreaking havoc. Many other times when you hear of AI, you think of this robot. You think of just like what you just said. Some of you mentioned some of the things, and you were dead on, so you must be, you must have been dabbling in because you're in some of the words, but most people think that AI is a robotic, this big beastly thing that's going to come around and change the world, and it's going to destroy the way we operate and how we do life and how we do business. But that is exactly what AI is not. It's this, what this young man was saying. It's a series of different codes that are put into a mainframe or put into a system, and it kicks out an outcome. It's basically you putting something in, and it's giving you a deliverable. You put this information in, you ask it for something, and it then delivers something. So how many of you guys have been listening to all the language around AI in the last several months?
You mean like language like that?
No, just about AI.
Oh,
Been hearing this AI,
Very
AI.
little.
Very, very little. Okay. It's been the buzzword all over the place. As a matter of fact, I think there's this thing called Remedy or something like that that now everybody is. A friend of mine, my wife and I asked my wife, I said, is she pregnant? I said, I didn't know she was pregnant. No, I said, I didn't know she had a kid, this young lady. My wife was like, no, she's using this app, this AI app that is showing and saying that. I was like, okay. But we're utilizing it in, I would say, some in the wrong way, and we're gonna talk about that, and we're utilizing it to advance what it is that we're doing in life. So, here are some different things as it relates to AI. One of you guys mentioned it. Did you know that Netflix utilizes AI? When you go on to Netflix, when you turn it on and it dong, that noise, I don't know why they do that. It kind of makes me jump every time they do it. But when you open up that Netflix channel, what are some of the things that it show you?
things you might like.
Ding,
Things you
ding,
might
ding,
be
ding,
into.
ding, ding,
I'm
ding,
sorry.
ding.
I'm gonna shut up.
No, you're right.
No, I want him to put.
You're right. It tells you that, and you're like, who told them that? Here's the next thing. You mentioned it, Siri. Siri it's been utilizing AI forever. So when you think that this thing is, as we have been led to believe that it's new, it's actually in reality not as new. Who got a Roomba in their house? Got the little, or you've seen the Roomba going around. It has artificially identified your house and know where things are in your house and how to move around. Google Maps is another form of AI. Here's an interesting story about Amazon. Amazon just had Prime Days or something like that, or it's going on now. Now, here you are, you're thinking, man, I just went on to Amazon, I wanted to get this order and they said it'd be here this afternoon. Guess what they've identified? They've identified your searches, and then looking at your search algorithms and the things that you have put in a basket or you put a like to or what have you, they've identified those things to now ship them to the closest facility to where you live, that now you're thinking is, yes, I got my stuff the same day I ordered it. But in reality, they're studying your habits. So you're thinking, man, ain't that good, man? They got the stuff right there, what I was gonna order, and it was sitting right there, and I got it the same day. But imagine the intrusiveness of how that look, sound, feel, smell, think, and all that. Because someone knows you that well. It's like me knowing you well enough to know that I'm gonna go out to your car and start it just before you get to the car every time. Other facets of AI is, of course, Instagram, and then the infamous ChatGPT, and we're going to talk about that. All these different tools are what is artificial intelligence.
But ChatGPT is newer, right? The other things you mentioned, they've been.
ChatGPT is newer. It's the newest tool. So what else can AI do? This picture here is an AI, an artificial intelligence bee. Like a bzzz. When they realized that there has been a shortage of bees in pollination, they created artificial intelligent bees to go around to make sure the honey migration didn't reduce itself. Artificial intelligence. We just talked about how it can communicate with you in different capacities. AI is now. When I was out in San Diego a few years ago, back in 2018-19, I remember being in the store and I saw this robotic thing go past me, and I was like, okay, what just happened here? So I watched this thing. I'm like, what in the world? Now I'm gonna ask the guy, say, hey, what is this thing doing? He said, it was taking inventory. So now where you and I used to walk around and scan, this robot thing that was in Walmart in San Diego was just going through the aisles, and it was inventorying the whole store, downloading it. So you, again, and I know we all see now when we go into the stores, the proverbial no cashiers, because what just happened? This here is Flippy. Flippy is taking over the jobs at McDonald's. Where you used to be able to tell your child to go to McDonald's and get a job for the summer, go to Burger King and get a job for the summer. Well, Flippy has got a different message for your son, your daughter, your child, you. Flippy is changing those dynamics. Of course, you already know that we have automated vehicles that are driving themselves, and they are driving themselves as well as they're driving people crazy because of some of the things that it does not know. Remember, AI, and we're going to talk about that, AI does not have feelings. It does not have a moral compass. So they begin to start learning this with these automated cars that are driving and taking, in so many words, taking people's lives in some of the things that it's doing. And this is my friend right here. Let me show you my friend, what she can do. Internet's not connected here. There we go. Connect. Probably gonna take me to another page to do something, so bear with me for a second. Yeah, who's gonna do that?
Hi. We hope you've been enjoying the Keeping Up with AI Facebook group. We hope you've enjoyed the engaging news, articles, tools, and tips about AI. It is our goal to provide a safe environment for you to have discussions, express your opinions, and learn about AI in a community of like-minded, curious individuals. If you found value in this group, please consider inviting others who you think may be interested to be a part.
So when you thinking about, guess what? I need to, where you used to have to pay all that money for a spokesperson, you would pay for these various things. Guess what? Change the world. You no longer have to do that. You got my friend Hey Jen. She does that for you. Let me get back to that.
So that person was all AI?
All AI.
It's so funny because I was just like everything just like falls in place, and I received it. You know what I'm saying? Like received the email, and I was just saying I gotta utilize AI. I need headshots, and I came on the internet. It is just so amazing. So it's just like this is just a blessing, Daryl. Thank you so much. I'm so
You're
excited.
so welcome. Okay.
You can go to the voices.
You talk about those.
The present.
And AI is gonna replace everybody's job. Photographers.
Glad you mentioned that.
I'm so, let me just be quiet. I got to get the gab.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So we talked about how does AI work. That was the discussion that we talked about. And it's just like what your son said. AI takes data. It takes some information that you're putting in, which means you have to tell it something. It's a set of rules to obtain the expected outcome from a given input. You're gonna tell it something. You as the individual gonna tell it something. Oh, don't show on the screen. You're gonna, as a human, you're gonna tell it, you're gonna send it to them in a text message. You're gonna tell this system something, and then from you telling it something, it's gonna grab your recipe or an algorithm. It's gonna look at all the stuff that you are saying, and then it's going to kick out a product. So I want you guys to take a look at that picture. What do you think was put in to either a system of some nature to get that picture, to get that expected outcome? What do you think was put in?
Probably like color codes.
What else? What do you think?
Just a sentence, right?
What was the sentence?
Create me a picture of a girl with brown skin, glasses, a phone. I'm looking at the data, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, there's this app, it's like it allows you to create art using only AI, and to do it, you can put certain keywords, like I put horizon with a blue sun, and it can create certain things.
Both of you are correct. What was put in to develop that was, give me a brown skinned girl with puffs, hair puffs, with blue glasses, carrying a media device, and that's what it spit out.
Keywords.
It spit exactly that out, exactly what you were saying. You tell it, and this was done in a program called DALL-E, and what DALL-E, DALL-E. Now, here's what the AI is great at doing. AI is great at doing tasks. It's great at doing repetitive things, mundane things, and data manipulation, as well as mathematics. So, you know, if you ain't that math guy, it's pretty doggone good at it. But this is what AI is best at. Now, what it's not best at, and I kind of made an inference to that, and that was making moral decisions. It doesn't have an emotion. It's an emotionless tool, and humans are best at those things. Humans are best at being creative. So remember, in being creative, you got to be able to ask it the right thing, in order for it to kick out the things that you're looking for it to kick out. Were you still writing?
I'm done.
Writing those? You still?
No, I got the GIF.
Okay. So here's the question: will robots take your job?
Yes.
My current job?
Yeah.
Probably, maybe not, depending on, well, probably not, because it's manual labor.
People, will robots take your job?
I don't think so. Not entirely. Maybe
Not my
parts
job.
of it.
What do you think? Will robots take their job?
Probably.
No. But
What?
watch this statement. It's not AI that is going to take your jobs, but someone who knows how to use AI might take your job.
That makes more sense.
So when I seen someone on Facebook this week talking about, man, everybody's going crazy about this AI stuff, and I went right in their thread and I said, yep, you don't get involved with it and you will be unemployed. Because if you don't understand how it works, everybody got a cell phone?
Yes.
Go to salaries.com on your job, or go into Google and put in prompt engineer's salary. Prompt, PROMT, salary. Tell me what they come up with. What you come up with?
Wow,
175,000.
335,000.
335,000. Now,
Yeah, 3,000.
prompt engineer. You know what a prompt engineer is?
programming?
Nope. Go ahead.
Really, like, I saw it right here, but they designed like codes and script for the whole
Not even that far. I'm gonna break it all the way down to Barney style. A prompt engineer is just someone who knows how to ask the right question. Someone who, remember I said AI is you putting in the data and the information, and whatever you put in is gonna give you that outcome. So a prompt engineer, what they have began to realize is we need more people who understand and who know how this thing works, who understands what's going on in this AI world. So look at this here. You got companies want you to know about AI. 91% of companies are hiring Chat GPT experienced people. 91%. Watch this. 50% for entry level jobs. That's just you just walking in the door. 50%, they want you to know that. Here are the organizations who are looking for them. But 50% for entry level positions is huge.